to Two Guys, One Anime. I'm Ashuri.
And my name is Lily Apple.
And today we will be reviewing Jujutsu Kaisen. It's one season, but it's a very long season. We will be doing each episode, give or take, giving our opinions on everything and our impressions on everything. And we'll also start off with just a general overview of the anime anyway. Jujutsu Kaisen was released in 2020, so it's not that old. I'm
very new.
Pretty confident that some people might not have seen this. There was a spoiler warning at the beginning of the video, but we will say it again. There is a spoiler warning if you haven't seen it.
A lot of spoilers.
Yeah.
A lot of spoilers.
It is animated by Mappa, who animates Attack on Titan.
Arguably one of the best animated studios at the moment.
Exactly. 100%. They're just knocking it out of the fucking park at the moment. So,
yes.
Credit to them. I've got the Jujutsu Kaisen described as a fantasy action with decent comedy, is what I put it down.
Yeah, I would agree with you on the comedic side effects.
Yes.
They are very frequent.
Yeah.
There is a pattern, but they are frequent.
Yes. And the overview of what the anime is about over the 24 episodes is Yuji Itadori. Hope I've not butchered that.
You butchered it.
Yeah. It's dragged into...
Itadori Yuji.
Thank you. Well, I think I'm around the wrong way, ain't I?
Wrong way as well.
Yeah. Sweet. It gets dragged into a world of curses by eating a finger of Ryomen Sukuna.
Yes.
Which is not really an overview of the anime.
You've described the start.
Basically, described the start. So, yeah, I also put down great soundtrack, which it does have. The music in the anime is solid, and we know that the intros are really good.
The intros are banging.
So is the outro.
Music in the episodes are phenomenal. The outros are phenomenal. The score in the entire thing is amazing. I
also said super smooth animation / CGI, because I know that they used quite a bit of CGI to make a lot of this. It's not... There is some cells still used in this, but I think it's more pushed on the CGI front, which is why it looks so clean.
I was gonna say the combat scenes just seem like the pure CGI, if I'm honest with you.
Yes.
Because they're so fluid in how they work.
Yes. I also put in, which we'll be going over, I put in amazing fight scenes.
Oh yes.
And I said a great cast of characters.
Yes. I've got to say for the first initial three main characters, you may as well call them all three main characters. It's got a very good storytelling behind all three of them. But then you consider they expand the cast out to like obviously the other school later on. The leaders, the other Jujutsu Sorcerers. Yeah. It's very expansive and it's got a very good
the story is not just three characters, it ends up being
everybody more or less,
about 10? Probably more?
More than 10.
Probably more than 10. So yeah, and they do, like you said, they do a great job of telling everyone's sort of story, and they also do that on the villains as well.
Yeah, even on the villains, they're cursed spirits, whatever you want to call them.
Demons.
Demons, cursed spirits, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, episode number 1. So, it does a really good job of introducing itself as an anime and what it's going to stand for throughout the entirety of the series, I've got to say. Because it starts off with Yuji just being another high schooler.
Yep.
I've got a few things to say about normal, but besides the point.
Yeah.
He's going to high school as any other kid will. We find out his granddad's in hospital for X, Y, Z reason.
Yeah.
He then goes forward and finds out, he's part of this high school group at the end where he basically has to do. He does like this spiritual stuff. He's only joined it up because he's joined the club. That is literally the only reason.
Mm.
But they end up finding a finger of Sukuna, which is where the entire series kicks off because you get Megami showing himself for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
You hear of Gojo for the first time.
Yep. Also,
Then all
Sukuna himself as well.
Sukuna himself as well, yeah, I suppose, in a way. First bit where, like, it's still on the first episode, but it goes straight into the combat scenes with the demons or cursed spirits.
Yes.
I think it does a really good job in like easing you into it because it's not just straight attack, attack, attack. You do see cursed spirits previously in the episode as well.
Yeah.
And you can kind of see what's going on.
Yes. So it's like, yeah, like you said, so it's like the first, so like the first half is just a very, very good, like you said, build of.
It's like walking before you can run kind of thing.
It's like we're seeing the character. We see that he's not normal.
He's normal, but he has superhuman capabilities.
Yeah, which is strange, we'll admit. But he is semi-normal. He just wants to go to school. He just wants to, and do whatever. Then, like you said, the grandfather thing, and that gets dragged.
Yeah.
And then he gets dragged into the curse stuff. And the second half of that first episode, does an amazing job, especially when the fight actually begins.
Yes.
Again, this is where the CGI comes into it.
The animation starts running.
But I think that's a good thing. It's not an episode where you go, "Well, that was really, really trash." Like you said, it's built the world, it's built the character, and we know the main premise of what this is going to be about.
Another good thing I didn't want to mention about this as well, when they go into the first fight scenes, it seems like it's not like your typical fight scene where the protagonist is here to save the day kind of thing. You get like an air of uncertainty with it and horror that comes along with it, because it's like, at the end of the day, these are cursed spirits and ghosts, and they are here to torment normal innocent people.
Yeah.
So there's the uncertainty of how it can go in terms of a series, and then obviously Megami shows up, does his jujitsu, and even then it's still concerning because he can't beat them all.
No.
Because the big one then shows up.
Yeah, he struggles.
And he's supposed to be a Jujutsu Sorcerer at this point.
Yeah, I mean, even though he's a year one, even that was too much for him. Yeah, like you said. And it's all stemmed from the finger. It sounds really weird, but it's true.
Yeah, and that's not actually like what you'll later refer to as finger demon, which is the incarnation of the finger. But it's like, even the ones that he just draws in and a sorcerer can't be there. It's a sense of realism that comes along with it, because it's not just they're here and they're overpowered to smash the shit out of everything that appears.
Yes.
Which is a really good thing to see.
Yeah. One
grievance with the episode, though.
Okay.
Why is Yuji so bloody strong and fast? It's not explained anywhere.
I don't think it's going to be explained yet.
No. And it bothers me, because it would have been fine if a subtle hint was dropped by his granddad saying, "Oh, ever since your father did this as an athlete, you've always been trying to chase him." That would make sense to me. I'd be like, okay, I can get behind that. But the fact that he's referring to as breaking world records and outrunning cars, and he's a high schooler. Yeah.
There's something, there's a deeper
There's a
thing
bit more
here.
On,
yeah. They could have, it probably would have been beneficial for him to, maybe not in episode 1, but to flash back it in the first, I'd say 3 episodes, just to give it, because even though we said it does this entire anime does a great building of the stories of the characters anyway, and you also get a lot of their backstory as well. We don't get any backstory for Yuji.
I've just had a bizarre thought. Do you think it's possible for a cursed spirit to have a child?
Possibly.
I'm thinking, what if Yuji's half cursed?
Could be a thing.
If that's a thing.
Which is why he can take on Sukuna's.
Which is why he can see spirits, which is why he can fight with superhuman natural abilities.
It's possible.
I'm curious.
Possible,
It's a theory, but
that's a wild theory you've just come up with.
It's a wild theory
now.
I've just come up with. Yeah, I want to make sense of it. It's one of those things that bothers me.
Yeah, we will get it, but it's not going to be yet.
Yeah.
And spoiler alert, it's not in this season either. So we're not going to know. Again,
yeah, we won't find out.
Give us your thoughts in the comments, though. We'd be very interested to know what you think.
Tell me your wacky wild theory as to why Yuji's so bloody powerful.
Yeah, there's no wrong answer.
And don't just say anime, because that doesn't work.
Yeah, there's no wrong answer. I mean, it's probably in the manga.
It's always in the bloody manga.
Yeah, it's probably in the manga. If it's in the manga, don't tell us. Please.
Okay.
Please, I don't want to ruin it.
Following up with episodes 2 and 3. Honestly, I don't feel a great deal goes on here. It's more just introducing the characters.
Yeah, but that's fine. That's fine.
That's fine, is what it is. Because it's like
Go on.
I was gonna say Megami. You get to see a bit more about him and how he is as a person. Like, it does make me funny, like the interactions between Yuji and Megami to start with, because they don't quite know each other that well. But it's like Yuji's treating him like his old friend or something like that. It's just odd to watch. Nobara, when she's introduced, is quite funny as well.
Yeah.
And when it does go into the bit where Nobara and Yuji do start their first ever mission together, it does. You get that sense of like the comedy is still there in a way, but you kind of realize how weak Nobara is at the start.
Yeah.
Because it's only one spirit. It's not even a special grade.
She's
it's nothing.
Strong-willed, and she comes across as like very strong.
It's powerful, yeah.
But she's not. It's weird.
Yeah, it gets to like one of the spirits, and she can't beat it for whatever reason. I know, obviously, the kid. He takes the kid as a hostage. That is one factor.
Yeah.
But it's like, as a Jujutsu sorcerer, you don't hold back. You just still mop the floor with them regardless, because at the end of the day, if that spirit wins, it's going to kill you and the child anyway.
Yeah.
So, not to like seem a bit relentless or cold or remorseless here, but you kill that spirit even if it kills the child to stop any further casualties.
Yeah, there is that.
And then obviously Yuji just comes out of nowhere and busts a hole through the wall like it's nothing. Which, by the way, it makes me think of that meme again. Where he just literally punches through the truck.
Hang on. Sorry, I totally fucked you up there. So, where was we?
Talking about where Yuji punches a hole through the wall on episode 3? When he's with Nobara?
Yes, when they're hunting for the demon that's, like you said, got the kid.
He's got the child hostage, yeah.
Yes.
And then Yuji just comes through and punches a hole through a wall.
Yeah, again, goes back to how he's got that strength and why he's got that strength.
It's not just that. I think it adds to the comedy of the anime, if I'm being honest with you, because it's like it's supposed to be like a really tense situation where Nobara is like slowly surrendering and the demon's like trying to be intimidated. Yuji just comes along, smashing a hole through a wall. It's like, oh shit, I missed. It's like, then he gets the demon on the second try. It's like, oh.
It has the comedy down to a T, I must admit.
Yeah, and I have to admit, it just gets better as the series goes on, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah, 100%.
That's episode 1 to 3 is a very good introduction to the entire thing.
Yeah, and in 3 episodes you get 2 fight scenes.
Yes, and they're both well done as well.
Yeah, which is immense because and the thing is, the rest of the anime just goes the same way. It's not.
It gets better, if anything. It picks up the pace.
I don't even think there's really any filler as well. I think a lot of it.
There's not a filler episode per se, but
a lot of it is just.
They're very smart with it because when they do filler, if you want to call it that, it's built into the episode when it needs to be built there. It's not.
Yeah.
Here's an episode about what happened here. It's literally, oh, this happened X amount of time ago, and then it goes straight back into something else. It's like you know what's going to come up because so reason.
Mm.
It's like with I know it's quite far off, but let's say Naname's background, for example.
Yeah.
It goes back to where he has flashbacks to where he's talking to that girl at the shop.
The barista.
Yes, and it's like where he's starting out before he becomes a Jujutsu sorcerer. It's like it's timed when you need to know that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And
Perfectly.
like what's motivating him.
Yeah.
So that's just an example, but
it does a good job.
That's a bit far off, so we'll go back to episode. I think we're gonna do 4,
5, and
now, aren't we?
6. Yeah. So, episode 4, 5, and 6 does a really good job of showing actual main character villains, like what we're going to be up against the entire season.
Yes.
It's not
To a
just
degree.
not just a couple of like cannon fodder. They do the mission where they can't. They shouldn't be doing it low, should they? Because Gojo's away. They said on business, which made me laugh.
Yeah, he's always away on business.
Yeah, that kind of made me laugh. So they go into it's a detention center, and it's like basically like a prison.
Yeah, it is a detention center.
Which they go in, and that's our first feel of an expansion, isn't it? Because the door's not there when they walk in.
Yeah, so it's the first impression of a domain expansion when they walk in.
But that villain in there, by the way, is creepy looking as fuck. By the way,
what, the incarnation of Sukuna's finger?
Yes.
Yes, that's
insane. How fucked that
it's a good design. I've got to be honest.
It is, but it looks messed up.
It is messed up, but it looks good. It's the personification of what Jujutsu Kaisen should be. It's like it's that element of horror, but it's mixed in with really cool anime fighting scenes. I can't complain. I love it.
So yeah, they go in, realize that they're going up against it's S tier.
Special grade.
Special grade. That's right.
Yeah.
And yeah, they don't stand a chance. But
no, they get mollywopped.
Yeah, but Yuji being that typical main character bullshit of I've got this.
Yeah, I can do this. I'm the main character. Blah blah blah.
But it doesn't do it in the typical anime main character bullshit style of I'm main character. I've got this. I'm gonna get through this regardless. Where it is actually to the point where it's
you nearly die.
Yeah, you ain't got this. You really ain't got this.
If my memory serves me right, the fight goes something like he loses his hand, and then I think he gets a hole punched in him.
Yeah.
If my memory serves me right.
Yeah, and then
it's like
he has to basically trade with Sukuna.
Yeah.
To kind of save his ass, basically.
I don't think it's even willingly thinking about it.
He's got no choice.
No, right. Sorry, I remember. It's
the only positive thing that he shows is he does show that he's got Jujutsu.
Yes, because at the end he does have an attack.
Yeah, he shows an essence of it, but he doesn't know how to fucking use it properly. So I think he actually damages.
He causes a little bit of damage to it, but not a lot.
So it's a positive note, but he's got no chance without using Sukuna, so he has to use Sukuna.
Yeah, and Megami makes the sound with the wolf, which switches him.
To where Sukuna
no contest.
How best to put this?
You thought the difference between the finger incarnation and Yuji was bad. It's about double the distance from the finger incarnation to where Sukuna is.
It's stupid because I'm not gonna lie, yeah, it does an amazing job of showing where Yuji is and where Sukuna is.
Yeah, there's literally mountains in between.
And it does it in about not even 5 minutes. It does it so fast, so effortlessly, and you really genuinely go, you ain't gonna be able to beat him, you know. Like,
no, there's no way.
There's an issue here.
I'm gonna be honest. When they first had this, and Gojo basically says right at the start, "Oh, I can beat Sukuna full power. Don't worry about it."
Yeah.
I don't know if you can. If I'm gonna be honest, it's a lot. There's a lot more to it later on in the episodes, but
at this point, we don't know how strong Gojo is. We do begin to start to see it.
Yes, because at this point you just think he's maybe a bit of an arrogant kind of
yeah, he's just
sorcerer.
cocky. Yeah, he's just cocky. Like,
yeah, it changes a little bit.
you're looking at him and you're thinking, this dude thinks he's amazing.
Mm.
Is he really? You know, so it's. But
I gotta say something I do need to talk about though when it comes to the whole Sukuna swap thing. After they've swapped, and obviously Sukuna just rips this demon in 6 different pieces or whatever it is,
and takes his finger back.
Yeah, takes his finger back, eats it, gets stronger. Try switching back. Yuji can't do it. I'm assuming Yuji's unconscious at this point, but that's fine. It's not what I'm talking about.
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah, so Sukuna goes back up and fights against Megami. And what I want to know is, I know Sukuna's not serious at all in the entire fight. He's just having a bit of fun, if anything.
Yeah.
But the fact that Megami is somewhat intimidating or exciting to Sukuna is quite good, because like right at the end of the fighting, like, when it's all said and done, and Megami's about to use this sacred weapon or something like that, which we still have no idea what it is, even at the end.
Yeah,
we still don't know what it is.
Yeah, there's a lot of this entire season leaves a lot of unanswered questions.
Yes,
a ton. But yeah, he there's definitely an essence. Again, it shows the levels without actually putting a number or anything. Against,
you can see the divides
against Yuji and Megami. You can see that Megami is capable of being quite strong.
Yeah,
he's not there yet, but you can also already see there is an improvement from the school to the detention center, and it's only to us. It's only been 3 episodes at this point. So you can already see that he's starting to more like use his head, think about what he's got to do, and you're also seeing more of his jujitsu as well. It's like, because he brings out is it like a crow?
No way.
Yeah,
like no way.
Crow owl thing or like an eagle thing. It's like a weird mashup of something, but
I know his snake gets destroyed.
Yeah,
this as well.
Yeah, so it's like we see more of what Megami can do. That being said, Sukuna is completely playing and toying with him.
Again, he's on a whole league, which is expected.
The fight scene in that as well, the movement is, again, I'll keep coming back to it, but it's so smooth and so clean.
Yeah.
It's immense. Absolutely immense.
I do just want to say one final thing. The best comparison I can give you for Yuji, like the power gap between Yuji and Sukuna at this point, it's like trying to take on the final boss in a Souls game, and you've just started the game.
Yes,
that is quite accurately how difficult and how much of a power gap there is.
Yeah, you
would just get slapped in one hit.
It's like Sekiro, when if you've not played the game, you go up against basically the final boss at the beginning.
Yes, and you will die. And
there's nothing you can do about it. You're going to die. Even though I think there has been people that have tried to beat it.
In vain, I hope.
There might actually be someone who's done it. I don't know. But
never know.
It's basically, you're not meant to win. So it's kind of like that. Like, Megami, it's not meant to win. There's no point.
No, it's not meant to win. That he's going to lose.
It's just pointless at that point. You're just wasting everyone's time and yourself. So
final note is going to be Sukuna does actually mention that he's disappointed in Megami, and he says that he's a waste of potential.
Yes, which again,
and that does play a part later.
It's kind of not fully answered, though, is it?
It's not fully answered, but I'll get into that like towards the end of the episodes, because in reality, it plays into a lot, and I'm excited to see what it's actually going to be. But again, later episodes, we'll talk about that.
Yes.
Seven?
No, we're actually at 6.
6.
Cool. We've just gone through 4 and 5, so we're at 6. So 6 is where Yuji, like you said, is kind of unconscious because he's actually on the table.
Where he's on, he's on the operating table, isn't
he? They're just gonna go, let me experiment on him. It's like, okay, but he's in. It's not a domain expansion of Sukuna, is it? It's more
just his innate domain. Is what he calls it.
So he basically just starts having a fight with him.
Yeah, has a
for
fist
no
fight with
reason.
Sukuna. I don't know why.
No reason at all. To get his body back, because he ripped out his heart in.
Yeah.
To gain control, because he said if he comes back and gains control, he can't live without it. Whereas Sukuna can. He doesn't need anything really. He can just.
Yeah, and he makes it perfectly clear he doesn't care if he dies there and then he can.
Which is kind
like,
of
he's
fucked when you think about it as well. Because basically, what that means is if you feed Sukuna's finger to a dead body, does that not mean that he can basically just reanimate himself?
Yeah, it does actually, because that's how
he can
incarnations work, isn't it?
Yeah, he can basically just take it as a shell.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
That's fucking broken. That's messed up.
It's a cursed spirit. What do you expect?
Yeah. So he has a fight for. Well, he has a fight for a reason, because obviously he wants to wake back up.
Yeah, he wants his body back.
But there's it's just stupid. He manages to accept it on terms, which I don't.
He doesn't accept it on terms.
No, but we don't actually get if he does. I think is the whole point. He puts his terms out, and then he sort of just comes back. If I'm
so in the anime itself, basically what happens is Yuji doesn't like his terms, and then basically Sukuna turns around and says, "Okay, we'll make a bet. If I win, we'll have a fight. If I kill you or beat you or whatever, then you'll accept my terms and go back to your body. Yeah. If you beat me, then I'll accept your terms and you go back to your body." And as Yuji just steps in it, literally just cuts half his head off and kills him instantly.
Yes.
And then he comes and wakes up, but he doesn't remember any of the interaction because Sukuna's condition was he forgets about it.
That's true.
So
that is very true.
Something that's lying in there. But what I'm actually curious about that is he had in the conditions were a 1 minute extension that Sukuna gets, but something that was in his conditions was he originally said he wasn't going to hurt anybody.
Yeah.
But that's not in his new ones. No. He can now do what he likes, I think.
Yeah.
So that's going to be quite good to see when he calls on that extension. I think it's going to be to fight either Megami or Gojo, but I could be wrong.
I think it'll be Gojo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be for some major event later down the line, but
yeah,
we haven't seen it yet.
But with him coming back, Gojo keeps him hidden from more. It's more the head.
Yeah, it's more like the actual sorcerers than anything else.
Keeps him hidden and starts him in training, which is one of the weirdest training.
I love it.
Regiments ever. Of just watching films to put his emotions under control. Yeah,
so he can control curse energy with his emotions in check.
And he's also got the bear that just punches him when he doesn't do it right.
That bear is brilliant. I don't care.
It's just so. It's that comedy coming out when you least expect it.
Yeah.
But I don't expect this scene to be funny. It's meant to, this. It's now his
redemption.
Supposed
to be training and quite serious.
This is his redemption. He's coming back. He fucked up and now he's coming back. And it's like, yeah, you're going to be trained by watching films. Don't worry about it. It's like,
yeah.
Wait, what?
I think it's quite funny where he swaps to the scene of where he's watching. Oh, I'm trying to remember the film now. I know there's Lord of the Rings one later on, but there's another film before that. But basically, he loses his concentration for a second, and it's getting to they're cutting the bottom wires. That's what it was. And it's getting there, and he's focusing really hard, and all of a sudden, you just gets lamps in the face. It's oh my god, it's
do I cut the blue wire or the red wire? And it's just
just about to boom straight across the head.
Yeah, so he keeps it hidden while this is going on. I'll roll back to the beginning of what I said. He does a really good job of introducing the villains. We do see actual villains that the season's going to sort of be about. We'll get on that more later.
Yes.
And we see how strong they actually are with what they do in the cafe or restaurant / thing that they're
the cafe. I think Shogo, goes mental.
We also realise that one of the guys or one of the demons is seeable from everyone, which makes him not. Surely, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's not actually a cursed spirit.
Yeah.
He is a human. He's actually a Jujutsu sorcerer.
Yeah, but an evil one.
Yes.
Basically, because he
also in the movie, I think he is.
Yeah, because it's really funny that he's like walking down the street with these. They're not humans at all. They're just.
Yeah, but no one can see them except for him.
No one can see them, and he walks into the restaurant and they go, "Table for one." He goes, "Yes, of course." And then that's where you go, oh, "Okay, so no one can see these things."
Again, I gotta mention the comedy relief playing into this as well when this happens, because there's just that one waiter who's panicking to hell and he says, "I can't work here anymore. I get the feeling if I go over that table, I'm going to die." And then he just goes to his manager, quits, and sprints.
He can see him, mate. That's what it is.
I don't think he can see it. I think he can just feel there's something wrong.
Maybe he's just a jiu-jitsu master and we just didn't know it. He'll come back later on. Maybe, I don't know.
He'll come back as a sorcerer in the next season.
You say that, right? Like, oh, he couldn't see him, but it's like we're pushing ahead. But Nanami, he sees the one on the girl's shoulder, doesn't he? The barista.
Yeah, but he's a sorcerer.
But he's not at the point. He's just a normal dude.
No, he is a sorcerer at that point. He just does it part-time. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
So he does the main job of where he's a stockbroker, but part-time he does the Jujutsu side, Jujutsu sorcerer.
Ah.
And then obviously when you see him with Yuji, he's full-time.
Okay. That makes more sense.
Yes. So he's not a wizard. He's not like an expert Jujutsu sorcerer, don't worry.
Yeah, so anyway, so we see the villains, we see what they're capable of, and we find that Shogo, which is the one with the volcano head, wants to just go for Gojo. Like their main mission is to kill him, isn't it? Like straight away.
Yes, more or less.
So at the end of episode 6, I believe, it sort of begins between them two.
Yes, the fight starts.
Sort of starts with them, and that's where we're left.
But now we're going into episode 7, which is probably one of my favorite episodes in the whole season, I want to say, because Gojo proves he is just an absolute monster.
He's an animal.
Yeah, it's like you thought Sukuna, like the power gap between Yuji and Sukuna was bad.
Yeah.
Then there's Gojo.
Yeah.
Who literally. Yeah. It's like when they started describing the power of infinity and like how there is an infinite space between Gojo and anything he wants. That's a broken ability to start with, because he can stop any attacks, he can cause any attacks.
Yeah.
And not to mention he has his own Jujutsu techniques as well. So when he uses Red, for example, and he launched it, it's like a miniature spirit bomb, if I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It just blows the special grade, Shogo across the whole forest at that point.
Yeah, it's stupid how the difference in power is just unbelievable at that point. Because it's him when he goes and gets Yuji to show it.
Runs off.
It's basically like a training thing for even Gojo. It's like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna show you how this works. By the way, don't worry about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna show you domains for the first time.
Yeah, it's like,
come here and watch this.
Wait, hang on. Like he just left mid-fight and just going, get someone to come back.
It's like he just doesn't care. He's taking it casual.
It's like, hang on, like how, why, what? It's just it's unbelievable. But yeah, it's also again. I keep saying it's an amazing looking fight scene as well. When the powers start coming into it, it's just
the animation and the combat scene, like the sequence itself, is phenomenal between Gojo and Shogo.
Yeah, 100%.
It's like I think it's just like how Mappa is able to animate their stuff. They just make it fluid regardless of what it is.
Yeah, they're just knocking it out of the park completely. It's just. Yeah, it's just stunning. It really is. And it like you said, it just gets better through the entire series. I'm really looking forward to the film. I cannot wait for that to come out. Yeah,
So I'm gonna actually talk about the domains quickly. So
Okay.
the design of the domains are actually really good. I thought Shogo's was a bit lackluster considering because it is literally just like a rock mountain with lava. If I'm being honest, it's not anything magical. But then when Gojo kicks his out, and it's like the universe thing, it's like, what the hell am I actually looking at, kind of thing.
But I think
And then he actually just,
go on.
I was gonna say, then he actually describes what it does. It's like it will just it basically repeats your normal actions infinite times over.
Yeah.
So you can't do anything inside of that domain.
Yeah.
Now, which is also unbelievably broken.
Yeah, it's
Well,
like you said. It's so Shogo's was very like you said lackluster, and then Gojo's was just like spectacular. Again, I feel like that is a play on the fact of how strong these people are. Whereas
yeah,
Shogo's could be absolutely amazing, but he isn't that. Even though he is a special grade, in theory, he's still not that good. When you compare him to Gojo, like you said, it looks like the universe. It's like he's domain expansion just is so much more than Shogo's. It's like it is again showing the difference in that's how strong this guy is. That's how strong this guy is, and it doesn't need to do it with a number. That's the best thing about it. Even though it's got the grading, it still doesn't need to use the grading for you to go, hey, this guy's pretty strong, and oh, this guy's not that bad. It's like
I'm gonna say in terms of the grading, actually, the only grading they have is special grade. There is no numbering. It's like
there is a grading table though, isn't there?
There is a grading table for like basic curses, but these are specials.
Because it's like the guy goes, oh, you can shoot this one with a gun, or you're gonna need a tank for this one, or you're gonna need a nuclear bomb for this one, or
I remember this, yeah.
Yeah, or this one you've got absolutely no chance, and you definitely need a Jujutsu Sorcerer. It's like okay.
Hey, which is when Todo shows up. One of my favorite characters by far.
Yes,
because he is an absolute behemoth of a person.
He's a
unit, absolute unit. You can't not look at him and think I am dead. It's like the best way to put it.
Yeah,
because I gotta say, it's when he starts like talking to Megami and everything, it's like it's okay. He's just like just having a conversation. It's fine. But then he asks him about the women question.
Yes,
and I have to say, as much as I love the fact that it's completely random and comedic, when Todo's crying, I was scared.
It goes back to Yuji when he says I'm into Jennifer Lawrence type women. He says it in one of the earlier episodes, and I was like, "Why are you bringing that up?"
Later episodes, yes.
Yeah, I was like, "Why are you bringing that up?" And then he says it to him about when he answers that question. He's like, "Yes, I like this," and he goes, "It was meant to be together," type thing. I was like,
but later on in the episode, it's fucking brilliant.
That's so good.
Moving on. When it actually just makes like a big power difference between Todo and Megami as well, because it's like Megami's trying to do all these different kind of techniques that he's learned like recently, and then Todo is just brute forcing through all of them.
Yes,
he's not even using his own technique at this point. He's just using his more like muscle power.
Yeah, he's just a muscle bound freak basically, but he can back it. That's the thing.
Something I'm looking forward to seeing actually, and it's related to the movie. So Megami actually mentions that Todo was one of the ones who was in the parade of 100 demons or something like that.
Yeah.
But basically, he was one of the sorcerers on site, and he kills 5 grade 1 spirits and a special grade by himself. And he openly admits that he only used his techniques on the special grade. So he can take out grade 1 curse spirits with his own fists, and that's it.
That's insane.
He doesn't need a technique.
Insane. It's just insane.
Yeah, it just shows you how strong he is.
They need to definitely build on that character a lot more. Because again, we didn't fully get a backstory for him either.
No, but I'm expecting one in the movie.
Yeah, so
it'd
be really good to see. Yeah, it'd be good to see. But even with Togo, what's his name?
Todo.
even with that, we get to see the Kyoto sister school, isn't it? Like,
yes,
it's not just like one or two characters. It's we've now realised that there's multiple schools. It's not just one. Because obviously they're the Tokyo school, aren't they?
yes,
The main characters. So we've now learned that there's multiple schools. How many we don't actually know. It could just work off of most major Japanese cities.
maybe.
But they have. We're basically getting built up to the competition, which I think he's mentioned in this, because they start like sort of bad mouthing each other and stuff. Yeah, so it's kind of interesting that they brought that in.
Yes,
and it just, like I said, it just opens it up to, we now know that there might be multiple schools that do the same thing. So
yes,
in future seasons and stuff, it can build on that, which is good.
Yeah, it adds an extra layer onto it, which is pretty good. Mai just looks like a pushover, if I'm being honest with you. Who's the other one that's with him? The one with the gun?
Yeah.
I think you're struggling to remember, if I'm being honest.
I do. Is she the sister?
Yeah, sister of Maki.
Yeah.
Who's the one with the spear?
Yeah, because she didn't get the actual Jujutsu ability, did she? I believe.
Maki, the one with the spear, Maki, doesn't have any Jujutsu abilities whatsoever.
She uses Jujutsu weapons.
Yes, that's correct.
But she's also the better sister, better fighter.
Yes.
Because she trains for it, whereas the other one just thinks that she should have it handed to her on a plate.
More
basically,
or less.
Yeah.
Because she can use curse techniques.
Yeah, because we do actually get a backstory for them too, which is interesting later on.
Yeah, it's a good parallel to see when it comes to it, but
yeah,
Mai is just a complete pushover when you first see her.
Yeah.
Because like, it looks like she's beaten up Nobara, but I'm willing to bet that Nobara just let her do it.
Yeah,
I'm under the full impression that Nobara would just kick the shit out of her if she wanted to.
As soon as she learned that there was going to be like the competition, I think she just thought, I'm going to get this bitch at some point, so I'll just wait. It's fine.
I'm pretty sure they're instructed not to fight them, aren't they?
Yes, until they do the competition, yeah.
Yeah, so it makes sense Nobara is actually just following orders.
Yeah, because Todo basically starts fighting Megami.
No, yeah, Megami hasn't got a choice, bless him.
Because of his answer, and it's like, you shouldn't be doing that, but fuck it, it's fine. But
you got like a 200 kilo behemoth charging at you. You ain't gonna stop him.
Yeah, there is that, to be fair, but yeah, it's a good build up for basically the school's competition episodes that are in later on. Episode 9.
Yep, so episode 9. This is where it starts turning to a bit more of a darker kind of vibe in my eyes.
Yeah, it goes, because the school contest thing is like quite, even though it's going to be a fight, it's quite light, because it's just,
yeah, it's light-hearted. It's
sort of meant to be
sorcerers, basically.
Yeah, it's like friendly competition. It's like whatever.
Friendly.
Yeah, I mean,
kind of break his head open.
There is that, but it's meant to be like a friendly competition between schools, and it's not against demons and stuff like that. So it's fine. But like you said, episode 9 seems to get really quite dark.
Yes, very quickly as well.
With the kid Junpei,
yeah.
Where he's struggling with depression and bullying, which is always.
It's actually quite relatable in a lot of people's lives.
It's very bad. The way that they do it is bang on the money. They just nail it.
Yes.
And he is basically taken. What's the word? Advantage of.
Yes, in a sense, he's taken advantage of.
Because of I'm trying to remember his name. Is it Hanbi or Haname? Haname is the villain.
Can't remember his name. Hang on.
I've got down Mojito, but I'm pretty sure that's not what they actually.
Mojito.
It is Mojito, isn't it? Because he's a weird Donnie again.
He's the weird motherfucker. He's the weird one of the group.
He's a cool villain. He's a very, but he's a very weird one at the same time. Like it's strange, but.
If you thought a cursed spirit could be a psychopath, that's pretty much what you get.
Yes. Yeah, so he takes advantage of Junpei, and he kills his bullies in quite a terrible way.
Yes. it's in a gruesome way, but it's
Yeah.
a weird way to start with
Yeah.
because when I first saw this, I didn't have a clue how his powers would work because it's just like their heads are enlarged and like they kind of die from shock in a way.
Yeah.
So it makes you wonder what his abilities are actually capable of, and it turns out he doesn't even know himself to start with.
Yeah, it's kind of like he's inflating them like a balloon, which is just really weird.
Yeah,
but,
I'd agree with that.
Yeah, but we find out later on that it can control sizes. Well, no, I say he can control sizes. He can change sizes, but he can't really control it to the way he wants to control it.
Not to start with, no.
So we find that out, but we also in episode 9, for me, get my favorite character, which is
Who's Nanami?
Nanami. I think that he's fucking awesome. He's so
cool. He's a very good balance of the sarcastic mentor mixed with the arrogant fool.
Yeah.
It's a very good balance.
Amazing. He's absolutely amazing. And he becomes Yuji's partner because he's still not been outed to. So he's still meant to be in hiding, isn't he? Gojo still kept him in hiding, so he's sent him out basically as. It's kind of as he's training, isn't it? Really?
As a trainer.
He's getting trained by Naomi. What a partner! It's fucking awesome.
It's very good. The first combat scene with the two of them in it, where they are fighting against you can't really curse spirits. They're not really spirits though,
they're basically the inflated humans, aren't they?
Yeah.
Basically, they're not even spirits. They're humans because they find that out.
Cursed beings. I don't know.
Yeah.
Call them what you want. Basically, when they're fighting them, obviously Nanami just flexes his power by taking off its 4 legs in one swing with a blunt blade that's wrapped up. It's like, I'm not sure how strong his critical strike is if you give him an actual sword.
It's immense. Because he's got the ability to basically pinpoint the perfect strike, hasn't he?
Critical hit, yeah.
So
that's his technique.
It's
one of his anyway.
Yeah, it's great. It is great.
Yeah. And then Yuji's just finding his feet still with his divergent fist, but he still manages to blow the cursed being's heart out, which fair play. Like, this is the first time I think he's actually got a cursed spirit kill.
Yes.
Apart from the one previously when he was using a cursed weapon.
Yes.
I think it's the first time he's used a technique to kill one.
Yeah.
Which is an improvement. But yeah, I will also want to point out that the music that they use in this is quite good as well.
Yes.
It's not your typical smash the hell out of the drums and play the guitar like mads to have a fighting theme. It feels like a lot slower and smoother when it comes to it.
Yeah, 100%.
Quite nice to see.
100%. Episode 10. We discover more backstory to the child, so Junpei.
Yep.
Because I think we also meet his mother in it, I believe.
I think you see the mother later in the episode.
Yeah. We also find more info about the Mahito, the villain.
Yes.
Which is good. It's always good. Again, I feel like maybe episode 10 is a little bit, like we said, a filler, but it's much needed filler.
There's a lot to unpack.
Yeah, it's interesting filler as well. On top of that, there is... I think there is a good fight scene in this one. I'm just trying to remember it off the top of my head.
11. No, actually, I think this is all quite quiet.
I thought this was the one where... Are we sure?
Are we sure? As far as I'm aware, number 10 is when they encounter... Yes, Nanami fights Mahito for the first time.
Episode 10.
You are correct.
Very, very, very good fight scene.
Yes.
It is a very good fight scene.
I do want to point out when Mahito does start fighting Nanami. Nanami is able to snap his arm off pretty much in one hit.
Yeah.
With his critical strike. It's like, this is supposed to be a really high special grade monster, and he can still cause that damage to it.
Yeah.
So I'm fully behind like Nanami being this powerful. Obviously not powerful as Gojo, but still very strong.
Yeah, I mean, you can again. It goes back to the levels.
Yeah.
You know, we can see the levels and we can see what certain ones are capable of and stuff like that. So it is good to see. It does a really good job of seeing that. So
saying that in terms of the levels, though, you can kind of say these two levels are actually quite similar in terms of power. Until obviously Nanami goes into what he calls overtime.
Yeah.
And then it becomes just a massive one-sided battle at that point.
Yeah, it does it really well, but there's definitely more to him as well.
Yes, there's a lot more
100%.
to him. Because if memory serves me right, this is also where you get the flashbacks for Nanami as well, where he's talking to the barista.
Yes, it might be 10, 11. It might step into it slightly. Which, yeah, like you said, we get the backstory for him, which is again, every character
filler.
needs the backstory. Like, give me that bit of backstory. It doesn't need to be an entire episode long, but 5 minutes is solid. Like, just give me a little bit of what he was about, where he came from. Fine. I know a little bit more about him. It's great.
It basically adds into what's driving them with the motives and whatnot, which is good to see.
This might be controversial.
Okay.
In the next couple of episodes, I'm sort of jumping ahead, but I think it's necessary because the next couple of episodes are the episodes where Mahito basically pushes Junpei to push on his bullies more, doesn't he? He actually he puts like it's not even a domain expansion. It's like he does put like a veil over the school, and he pushes him to go like be quite evil, even though the kid doesn't really want to.
Yes. If memory serves me right with this, what happens is his mother gets killed by a spirit because of the Sukuna finger, and then Mahito, which I'm assuming is the one who planted it there, blames it on the bullies.
Yes.
And basically turns it around and says, sometimes you have to be evil for justice or whatever.
Yeah, that's it.
And that pushes him towards going and trying to kill the school.
But the controversial bit I was going to get to is I think that the fight scene between Naomi, Yuji, and Mahito is the best in the entire series.
I'll have to give this some thought actually, because there's a lot of cutscenes.
I know the one coming later on is really good, but personally, it is my favorite. It's really good, really good.
Oh no, I've got
It's controversial. I told you it's controversial.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you.
That's honestly, fine. That's fine. But I'm saying that's the best fight of the season.
We'll say it's your best fight of the season.
100%, 100%.
It's a very good combat sequence. I will give you that, and the music elevates it to a whole new level.
Yeah.
And obviously, the animation is so clean and slick, so I can't complain in that regard.
Yeah.
But nah, the one later on, it's got me sold. I'm sorry.
I know. It's a close toss up, but I think it's because it's got my favorite character in it, and your favorite character's in the other one. It's that divide where you kind of go, oh yeah, but this one's better. It's like for actual fighting, they're probably quite level, but it just comes down to personal opinion of like, I really like this character, so it's like that one's for me.
It's got to be personal ticks, I think, at this point.
Yeah.
Which it's fine, but
it's
but it is a fantastic cutscene.
Because he actually a fucked up thing in that as well is Mahito turns Junpei into some
into one of those beings and manipulates
I don't know what you'd call it, but it's just
I'm gonna call them curse beings. They might as well be.
It's weird.
But Yuji actually has like, I suppose you call it like a spine tingling moment in a way. Like it's a bit where you just like you feel your skin crawl in a way.
Yeah.
And when Junpei actually dies, he just looks at Mahito and basically says he's just gonna kill him.
Yeah.
And he looks absolutely menacing.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, he might become a really powerful sorcerer.
He lands like the perfect punch as well. Like of his like sorcerers, like it's what he's been training for is like the perfect one.
Yeah, it's like the best one he's hit so far. He does obviously get better later on.
Yeah, but it's a good one. But yeah, that fight scene just does it for me. Really, it's.
I've got to say, props to Naname as well, because before the fighting starts, he actually notices that Mahito's nose is bleeding.
Yeah.
Which is something he was never able to do in his fight. Yeah. And he decides literally then and there what's caused that. I asked Yuji about it, and he's able to deduce like a strategy to beat him.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like it shows you what a grade 1 sorcerer is capable of.
Yeah, he's quick thinking and he's clever. It's like, yeah.
I've got to give my props to him in that case.
Yeah, it is good, but I think we can sort of jump a little bit because we've jumped up to 13. I think.
Yes, this is where you'd be doing a break.